Alrighty, my girlfriend got me this OBD2 scan tool made by Autel. It's called a MaxiScan MS300. I already use Autel products. I use the AutoLink AL319, and to me there's really, you know, the only real difference to me is the price difference. There's a few extra buttons on the AL319, which is my personal, and you know, I don't know anybody out there that does it professionally or otherwise. This thing talks to subsystems like your transmission, your BCM. I mean, it doesn't, you can't actuate or anything like that, but it'll actually pull the codes out of the subsystems for you. And it comes with this little book, little handy book here. You know, if you're not familiar with like P300 codes or whatever, but any code that pops up in this book, including generic codes that most people who are not of the auto mechanic lingo would understand, this book is, you know, very good. And as far as everybody's concerned, you know, everybody knows that this does not actually tell you what's wrong with the car. This gives you a idea of what's affecting the car, you know, like what system's being affected. It doesn't actually tell you exactly what's wrong with it most times. But anyway, I'm gonna plug this into the 16-pin OBD2 connector. This is not going to be the same in every car. This is a 2005 Dodge Caravan base model. And we're going to see if we have some codes. Currently we don't have any check engine light on, so we're probably not going to have anything. But what we can do is we can pull some live data. This thing can pull the VIN codes. Not the code, but the coding for the car. This thing can, like I said, take live data. Tells you short-term, long-term fuel trim. Basically anything you would need to know to diagnose a drivability issue or an engine performance issue. You can't actuate, like I said before, but you can do other things. As far as it'll tell you how many systems you have that are working. Like if you have more than 3 oxygen sensors, it'll tell you what's working, what's not working. It'll tell you, you know, if it's the circuit or if it's the whole entire piece itself that's being affected, because, you know, it doesn't actually tell you what's wrong with the car. But yeah, this thing has, like I said, you can read live data. You can record it so you can play it back and see if things change after you make the repair. This thing can shut off codes. I mean, erase the codes that are currently stored in the DTM. So, I mean, as far as the price, like I said, my personal one has just a few more little buttons, but it does exactly the same thing. Mine's a little thinner, a little older, but they both do the same. You can both be updated online. My Autel, my AL319 actually came with a updatable software, like a disc that came with it. I guess it's the operating system. The other one did not, but like I said, they both came with the user's manual, and like I said, I use it. The reason why I use Autel products, for the money and for what the component, the contraption can do, I mean, you really can't beat it. Most scan tools that you can find at your local auto parts store, I mean, they might be able to erase codes and maybe pull some live data, but they're not talking to subsystems. Most of the time you have to have a higher dollar snap-on or you know, or a manufacturer specific scan tool. Like I said, this thing here, you can do just about anything you need to do except actuate. I mean, of course, there's no oscilloscope or nothing like that on this thing, but for basic DIY repairs, this is actually pretty good for the money. Now, compared to the one that I have, my personal one, plus to the new one that we got the other day, the only difference I see between the two is the price. Mine was approximately $70. This one online, I think the highest priced one I've seen is probably about $25. But once again, it's good. For all that don't know, OBD2 is your newer scan, not newer scan, newer car operating system, and your CAN is the newer after the OBD2, which is more like, best way to put it would be like wireless, I guess, microprocessors. Instead of having actual wires and twisted pairs and everything, it's now wireless. But I mean, I think it's a pretty good product for the what it can do and for what they are charging for it. Plus, like I said, it comes with a little book, and both of them came with the book. So I mean, I would just recommend it to anybody who wants to start working on their own stuff to save a little bit of money, or maybe to ease their mind whenever a check engine light pops up. And you know, reading the book will give you a better understanding. If you don't know anything about cars, it'll give you a little bit of understanding. So I mean, that's really all I got.